and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this little cute quilled teddy bear. I've had a few requests from it now since my introduction to quilling tutorial went out, and I just bring them into shot to show you what sort of things you can make with a quilling dome. So I thought I'll get round and I wanted to get it filmed. It's really easy to do and it doesn't take that much you know, quilling to actually do. It's really cute and you can just have him sat on your desk with you or give it to somebody if you want. So I've written out what you're actually going to need strips wise, because it's basically all made from tight coils. Now tight coils is just basically you're twisting up your however many lengths of paper you're using and just leaving it into a tight coil like this. So you didn't want to see me doing all the amount of coils that there is. So I've got them already done already. So I'm just going to go through. I'm going to see if I can get this in full shot, then you can do a screenshot of what you need. I've used the same length of strips each time. I think they were the 21 inches my quilling strips, if I remember right. I've not got the packet with me. So I've done mine so it's got two different colours. So like your main colour, you know, for the main of the body, and then whatever you want to have the hands. On this one I did the arms a different colour, but what I've written down on here is I've made the arms the same colour as the body. So it's up to you if you want to do it like this or if you want to do the other. I've just written it out so I've got it, you know, where the arms are the same colour as the body and then the hands are a different colour. So you can see from here I've just started from the head and then the body and we've gone down the ears. So I'm going to keep referring to this as I go throughout, but I thought you could do a screenshot or something if you've got this on your phone. Can't zoom in any further or you end up missing quite a bit of it. So I'm going to zoom in for me to actually do the work, and then hopefully you'll have got track of what we need to use for all of it. So I'll go get the pieces and I'll be back. Right, so I'm back and I've got all my tools ready. I've got my quilling mould, so if you've got one of these, this just helps you a little bit more to get your domes the right depth so that they match up, because we've got to stick them together. If you haven't got one of these, you can use your knuckle or you just use your fingers and push out the domes very, very slowly using your fingers. If you push too hard, the coil will come undone and you don't want to have to redo all of those. So these are all the pieces. Now these two are for the head, and each tight coil consists of 5 strips, and then these are for the body and they use 7 strips. And then we've got these 2 little tiny ones which are for the ears, and then we've got 2 more which are for the arms, and then for the hands even, and then we've got 2 legs, 2 feet and a tail. Now when you've done these, you've got to let them completely dry before you can put the body together. So I've already done them and they've dried, so I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm just going to show you the different shapes, what we need to do. So you need your quilling mould, your tight coils, PVA glue or whatever glue you want to use, a paintbrush, that's just for spreading out your glue inside your cones, and a sharpened pencil. Now that probably seems silly, but what we're going to use to make the arms and the legs. So we're going to go with making the head first. So the one that's got just all the same colour strips in is the back of the head. So when I'm doing it, I generally start off with the larger of the domes and just work the way down here, just pushing against. Let me move these a bit further up. Problem with working up so close, you don't get much of a workspace. So you're just pushing against the dome until you've got it as deep as you want. Now the back of the head on this one that I made is not too dome-like, so I've gone a little bit too far there. So if you do end up going too far as more than you want to do, just push it back in a little bit and then go to the dome beforehand, and then you've got the perfect one that you want to do. So I'm remembering that's where I've done the back of the head, so the next one I'll probably go on to the next one down because the face wants to be more pointed. So then you just need to, on the underside, just squeeze some glue out if it decides to come. There we go. And then you just spread it out with your brush and then just leave it to one side for it to dry. So you need to do that with the other side of the head. So I'm going to go with the one that I use for the back and just push it against the mould, and then because I want it out a little bit further, because look, this centre is for the nose, I'm just going a little bit further out, and then I'm going to push the centre part out with just the end of my paintbrush, just a little bit. Don't push too hard or the centre will pop out and you'll be really cross at yourself. So I've just pushed it out a little bit further so it looks more like a head. And then again, just put your glue in. There we go. Spread it out and let it dry. And then it's just the same for the body. Well, because these is a bit bigger, you might want to go, there we go. So we've got round there. So that one I've stopped there, but the front I want the belly to stick out a little bit further. So I'll probably go to the next one down. I think my table's lopsided, everything's rolling. And then the belly, so I'll get down here. Stay there, brush. Yeah, because the further down you come with the domes, the more that it'll push from the inside. I don't want it to be too far out, but it's just teddy bears are nice and squidgy and plumpy, so that's what I want it to look like. Sorry, I went off camera then. Right, so now we're going to do the arms. So you don't need your mould for this part. So I've got my 2 arms and my 2 hands. So I'll zoom in a bit closer because this is probably one of the more trickier parts. This is where you need your pencil. So for the arms, I'll do the ears in a second, I've just realised they've got moved around. The arms, they've each got 2 strips, and so have the hands. The reason for that is because they're going to be the same width and they're going to stick together essentially, and that's the same as for the head and the body. So now this, if it's your first time doing it, just take your time. So you don't want an absolutely really sharp pencil, just a bit of a blunt end, and then you're pushing it in to like where the centre is, and I get it at an angle so you can see, and then just really slowly push through with your pencil. Don't do it too quickly, otherwise you'll end up pushing it out and you'll be really cross with yourself. And the reason I know that is because I have done it lots of times and it is so frustrating. So, and then just push it as far as you can go. You don't want it to go too far that it becomes loose. And then what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to bend the arm because it's going to go around the head a little bit. So it's only slightly, just like that. And then again, glue. And I'll leave that to dry, so I'll show you once more. Might want to just practice doing this a few times, some plain strips that you're not using for your project, and just slowly push out. I find twisting the pencil helps a little. Yep. There we go. And then bend it around like that one, so ever so slightly, and then glue. Yep. Okay, so that's the arms. Now the ears, oh no, sorry, we'll do the hands first. All we're doing is making little domes with these. So this is when you just take your mould back and probably start off from the smaller end first. You only want them to be ever so slightly domed, so just going to be for the paws. That's it. So it only took me to use the smallest tool to get them out. As you can see, they don't stick out all that far. So it's repetitive, this, because it's basically doing the same thing for all the different parts, but it's just the different sizes of coils that you need, or how many strips that you use. If you want a larger bear, then you know you can increase it. Just practice on different sizes as to get it to the whatever size you want it to be. I'm just done it this size because people had asked to see how I made it. Right, so now we will do the ears. Now these are very, very, very tiny, because these are just done with a 1/4 strip of each colour. So you probably will only need this first one, yeah. And then if you want to just, you can push it out a little bit more with your brush or something like that. Sorry, I'm really sorry I keep going off camera. And then what you want to do is just pinch a little bit. Just makes it a little bit more paw shaped. If you don't want to pinch it, you don't have to. It's just what I chose to do. One here, and then. So if you haven't got one of the quilling moulds, like I say, you can use this. You can use your knuckle for the larger ones. You just need to get them so that they're the same size as its other half, because then they will fit together properly. Okay, so we've got the ear, and then the tail. This is just half a strip of each. This one will probably need to go up another one. Yeah, just to there. If you want it to stick out further, then obviously push it out further. It's your teddy bear. You'll just make it how you want it to be. So we've got his tail. Right, now this is the legs. It's the same process, they're just bigger coils. So these are his paws, the pale ones. So I'm just going to push, I think I'll go with this one, so the 5th one up. Okay, so yeah, just push it down. So then I've got my 2 paws ready, and then we're just going to make 2 more of those cones. Just stick some glue in these. It will take a few hours for your shapes to dry before you can stick it together. That's why I've already done them in different colours, so I can show you straight away how to put them together. So these will go a bit further on the pencil, but exactly the same process. Just push really, really gently, because you're wanting the centre bit to extend first. Just keep pressing on to the sides just so that it doesn't slip, because again I have done it and it is very maddening. There we go. Okay, so and then we're going to curve it again, and then glue in the middle. Last one. I think the longest part of doing this is actually just making the tight coils. So if you've got something on the telly, or listen to some music while you're doing it, 'cause it can get a little bit tedious when you're not doing any of the other fancy shapes that you can do, but it's worth it in the end. Now just measure, see where that's, no, it's a little bit more. So that's it, when you're making these cones you just need to match it up with the other ones so they're the same. So then we bend it again. Oh, wrong end of the brush. And the glue will dry and it'll just keep all those different strips stuck together. So I've got them off now. So that I can stick it together fully with you, I've got my hot glue gun. When I made this one I just stuck it together with some regular PVA and I waited for each section to dry. But no, that can be a bit boring to watch, so I'm going to use a glue gun. You don't need a glue gun to do it, it just takes a bit longer. Obviously because you've using PVA you've got to wait for it to dry. But your hot glue is just more quicker. And there's his hand, oh no, there's his feet, there's his hands, and then you need two googly eyes. The really, really tiny ones. Put my glue gun around here. No, don't turn around that far. So if you're doing it with just a PVA, you just put in a ring round the outside, you know, like on the bare edge, and then you pop it together. Now the wire on this is not very long at all, so I'm just going to put some little bits. Careful you don't burn yourself. And then hopefully that'll stick, so that's both sides of the head. Oh, I need a little bit more. If you get any of these stringy parts on the outside, once they've cooled down you can just pull them off. And that's the downside of glue guns, is that all the stringy bits that you get afterwards, it really doesn't want to stick to that. So plan ahead and I'll use the glue gun and it just doesn't want to stay. Try this time. There we go. So that's our head. So I'll just pop that to the side for it to cool down. And then I'm going to do the same with the body. Sorry, I can hear a bee buzzing. I'm checking there is not, it's not in here with me. Just catch the edges with the glue and then pop them together. Okay, so that's our body. So we've got his head and his body. Sorry, I've got it that close up, I'm forgetting them further down. So then we've got his ears, we've got his tail. Now we'll put our arms and hands together. So again, you just put in it just round the top. And then put it together like that. Just zoom a little bit out because I think it can be blurred. Plus this, using this will make it even stronger. now 2 arms. Right, we've just got our legs to put together now. Now the feet we've pinched at the top, made it into sort of like a teardrop shaped dome. So you're going to have your legs, so one goes this way and the other one's opposite. So you just need to try and make sure that you've got them the right way around us when you're putting it all together. So I dropped my leg on the floor. Just try and think of the position of how it's going to be sat on your bear. So you need to have your dome pointed in the right direction. And it's not, you know, end of the world if they are a bit wonky or whatever. It's just showing you how I've done mine. So I'll put it like that. There we go. And the last one. Right, so just make sure that the leg's in the right position. Okay. And we'll leave that to dry. So I'll just find another glue stick because I think I'm running out. So what we're going to do now is we're going to stick the head to the base. So it'll basically look like a number 8. So I'm going to get just pick one of the points where your strips finish. Just put a blob of glue. Remember, if there's any stringy parts you can remove them afterwards. Just pop it in position and just hold it until it's dried. You can, like I say, you can do it with PVA, it just takes longer because you've got to wait for it to dry each piece, and hot glue dries more quickly. Give it on a blow if it's not going as quickly as you want it to. Okay, so now we'll put on the ears. So these are really, really tiny. So be very, very careful that you don't burn yourself, because I don't want anybody hurting themselves on account of doing this. If you're using PVA, then there's not a bother, but I don't want you getting hurt. Right, and just put a little teeny tiny blob where you want the first ear. Now the dome I'm having so it's facing out, so it looks hollow. See? Like that way. And where's the other ear gone? There we go. Sorry, these strings of glue just do not want to go away. Right. And then just, if you decided to squeeze the parts, then just make sure you've got them the right way up. Okay, so we've got little ears, and now I'm going to put the arms on. So probably the easiest way to do is just put the glue on the curved part on the inside. Just do a nice thin strip, and you only need the glue on the end because it's going to stick around where the neck would be. Okay. Now if you want the arms to be further out, then just position it however you want them to be. Oh, that's a leg. Nearly had one big arm and one big leg. One little one and one big one. Okay. And pop it where you want it. think I might actually put some bows on these once they're all fully dry. So that'll make a nice embellishment on it. And then same with the legs, but the way that you look at it, the legs are going to go more on the side, so that's why we've got them curved, so that they'll go around the outside of the bear. So just make sure you're on the inside of the curve. And then if you want to pop him up against whatever surface you're working on, it'll just help you hold them in position. So that's a really bad angle for you to see, but you can see where I'm holding it a little bit better. And just make sure you hold on to it long enough for it to stick into place. And then the tail is what will keep it from falling backwards, because you have to think the amount of paper that's there, it can make it a little heavy, so it just has a little stopper. So, and then we just put that on the other side. Really dry. So as you can see, he seems to want to topple back a little bit. I think he's had nitrogen lemonade or something. He's been in a vodka cabinet. Okay. And then just got the tail, and then just put the bob in there, and then stick it on the back, right at the bottom. Okay, so there is our teddy bear. Just got his eyes to put on now. Okay, no, wrong way around. So I'm going to do these with EVA, because I don't think I could get too fine of a dot on his face with the glue gun. Oh, completely dry. And then you just want to make sure you do little blobs where you want them to go. And don't worry, when PVA dries, it's clear, so you'll not see any of these. Okay, so I'm just going to get my googly eyes, and then pop them there. My googly eye doesn't want to turn up. I like using the tweezers for this, so I can just see a little bit better, because my little chubby fingers get in the way and I can't see what I'm doing properly sometimes. So let's get him adjusted, and then there's your little teddy bear. Looks like he's crying because the glue's there. But it's just fun, quick and easy to make, and you can make them in all different colours. I think I've used different length strips on these ones, because one seems a little bit taller than the other one, but it don't matter, whatever size you make them, just fun to do, something great to do with the kids if they're getting a bit bored, or if you just want to have a nice little character sitting on your desk with you. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and it's been easy to follow, and thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed it, if you wouldn't mind giving me a big thumbs up, and if you've not subscribed, if you'll consider subscribing, that would be greatly appreciated. And thanks for watching, I'll see you next time. Bye!